The space station hung like a silver jewel against the blackness of space. Inside, Captain Olivia Martinez adjusted her formal uniform before entering the grand meeting hall of the Galactic Council. Her brown eyes reflected both determination and wonder. This was humanity's big moment, their first official meeting with the Council representing 15 advanced alien species. "Ready, Captain?" asked Lieutenant Ryan Foster, standing at her side. His red hair was neatly combed, and his uniform pressed perfectly for the occasion. "As ready as I'll ever be," Olivia replied with a small smile. "Remember, we're here to make a good impression. Earth is counting on us." The massive doors slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, the council chamber stretched in a wide circle. 15 different alien representatives sat in raised seats looking down at the central platform where Olivia and her small team would stand. Some aliens looked almost human: 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head. Others were completely different: floating clouds of gas, crystalline structures, or massive slug-like creatures. Olivia had studied all the species, but seeing them in person was different. "Humans of Earth," spoke the council leader, a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms. "I am High Counselor Vendar. We welcome you to present your case for alliance." Olivia stepped forward. "Thank you, High Counselor. On behalf of Earth, we are honored to be here." She began her prepared speech, explaining how humans had recently developed faster than light travel and were eager to join the galactic community. Midway through, she noticed several council members whispering to each other, their faces showing doubt. "Your species is very young," interrupted a reptilian counselor. "Your history shows much conflict and violence. Why should we trust humans? As allies?" Olivia had expected this question. "Because of our resilience and determination. When faced with challenges, humans never give up." The council seemed unimpressed. Olivia was about to continue when alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Red emergency lights flashed. "We are under attack," announced an automated voice. "Voidborne fleet detected. All personnel to emergency stations." The council erupted in panic. Vendar raised all 4 hands. "Remain calm. Proceed to evacuation shuttles according to protocol." Olivia turned to her team: Ryan, Communications; Officer Samantha Wells, Security Officer Alan Phillips, and Science Officer Natalie Garcia. "We need to get back to our ship. Stay together." They rushed from the chamber into chaos. Aliens of all species ran through the corridors. The station shook as something hit it. The lights flickered. "Captain," called Natalie, pointing ahead. "Look," a section of ceiling had collapsed, trapping several aliens beneath it. Nobody was stopping to help them. Olivia didn't hesitate. "Come on!" Her team followed her to the injured aliens. There were 6 of them: a blue Vendar like the council leader, 2 small green creatures, and 3 crystalline beings. "Help us move this debris," Olivia ordered. As they worked, a tall alien in security armor approached. "Leave them. Evacuation. Protocol requires immediate departure." "Not happening," Olivia replied, not stopping her work. "They're still alive. The rescue chance calculation is below acceptable levels," the alien security chief insisted. "I am Commander Kraz Tool. I order you to proceed to evacuation." Olivia stood up straight, facing him. "On Earth, we have something called the 24-hour rule. If someone is still breathing, we don't give up on them for at least 24 hours, no matter what the odds say." Krastul's face showed confusion. "This is not logical. Resources must be allocated efficiently." "Maybe not by your logic," Olivia said, returning to help an injured alien. "But it's our way." The station shook again, more violently this time. "Life support systems damaged," announced the automated voice. "Estimated failure in 26 hours. Krazatul looked alarmed. "Even more reason to leave immediately." "Even more reason to hurry," Olivia countered. She turned to her team. "Ryan, can you stabilize the life support in this section?" "I'll try, Captain," he replied, already examining a wall panel. "Samantha, try to contact any rescue ships." "On it," Samantha said, pulling out her communication device. "Alan, Natalie, help me with these injured." Kraztul watched them work for a moment. This is against protocol. I must report this. Report away, Olivia said without looking up. But if you have any decency, you'll help us first. The alien security chief stood still for a long moment, then surprisingly knelt down and began helping move debris. Your 24-hour rule, he said. It is a military protocol. It's more than that, Olivia explained as they worked. It's a promise we make to each other. As long as there's breath, there's hope. We don't leave people behind just because the odds look bad. Another alien approached, a reptilian medic with scales the color of sand. I am Drell, medical officer. I stayed when I saw you helping. Glad to have you, Olivia said. Can you check their vital signs? As Drell examined the injured, more explosions rocked the station. Through a viewport, Olivia could see flashes of weapons fire as the battle raged outside. Captain, Ryan called. I've accessed the system. I can maintain life support in this section, but the rest of the station is failing fast. Good work, Olivia said. Let's get these injured to a more secure area. Medical bay is 3 corridors down, Drell suggested. Lead the way. As they carried the injured aliens, Olivia saw more wounded in the corridors. She stopped to help each one. We cannot help everyone, Kraztul protested. There are too many. We can try, Olivia insisted. Every life counts. By the time they reached the medical bay, their group had grown. 20 injured aliens and a handful of other aliens who had stayed to help. Captain, Samantha reported. I've contacted the Endeavor. The ship is safe but can't dock with the station while the battle continues. Understood, Olivia said. We're on our own for now. Outside the viewport, a massive black ship moved into view, part of the Voidborn fleet. Its design was organic and threatening, like a predator from the depths of space. They will board soon, Kraztul warned. The Voidborn show no mercy. Olivia looked around at her team and the injured aliens they were helping. She thought of the 24-hour rule and what it really meant. Hope in the face of impossible odds. Then we'll have to be ready for them, she said firmly. As long as we're breathing, we're still in play. 12 hours had passed since the attack began. The medical bay was crowded with injured aliens. Captain Olivia Martinez wiped sweat from her forehead as she helped Drell, the reptilian medic, tend to a wounded crystalline being. How is our life support holding up, Ryan? Olivia called across the room. Lieutenant Ryan Foster didn't look up from the control panel he was working on. His red hair was messy now, and dark circles showed under his eyes. Not great, Captain. Oxygen levels are dropping slowly. We have maybe another 14 hours before it gets dangerous. That should be enough time, Olivia said firmly. The 24-hour rule still applies. Drell looked at her with his yellow eyes. This rule of yours is strange to us. In council space, rescue calculations are based on resource efficiency. If the chance of success falls below 40%, no attempt is made. That's not how we do things, Olivia replied, applying a bandage to the crystalline alien. On Earth, we've seen too many impossible rescues succeed to give up easily. Commander Kraztul approached them. The tall security alien had stayed to help, though he still seemed uncomfortable with their decision. I have checked our supplies, he reported. We have enough medical materials for another 6 hours at current usage rates. We'll have to make them last longer, Olivia said. She stood up and addressed the room. Everyone, we need to conserve supplies. Only use what's absolutely necessary. Samantha Wells, her communications officer, called from her station. Captain, I'm still trying to reach any rescue ships, but there's too much interference from the battle. Keep trying, Olivia encouraged her. Someone will hear us eventually. The medical bay door slid open and Security Officer Alan Phillips entered with Science Officer Natalie Garcia. They had been scouting the nearby corridors. Captain, Alan reported, we found an emergency supply room 3 decks down. It's in a damaged section, but we think we can reach it. Olivia nodded. Good work. What's the risk? The corridor is exposed to space in some areas, Natalie explained. We'll need pressure suits, and part of the ceiling could collapse at any time. I'll go, Alan volunteered. Me too, added Natalie. Olivia thought for a moment. All right, but be extremely careful. We need those supplies, but I need you both back safely even more. They nodded and went to prepare for their mission. Olivia turned back to the injured aliens. There were 27 of them now, some council delegates, others station workers. 3 had died despite their best efforts, and several more were in critical condition. An alarm beeped on one of the medical monitors. Drell rushed to a blue-skinned alien who was struggling to breathe. "This one needs oxygen," the reptilian medic said urgently. Ryan checked their supply. "We're running low. We need to save it for the most critical cases." Olivia looked at the suffering alien, then at their dwindling supplies. This was the hard part of the 24-hour rule, making impossible choices while still trying to save everyone. Give half the recommended dose, she decided. It might be enough to keep them stable until help arrives. Drell followed her instructions. The blue alien's breathing eased slightly. "Why are you doing this?" Krastul asked Olivia quietly. "Your ship could have escaped. You are risking your crew for aliens you barely know." "Because it's the right thing to do," Olivia said simply, "and because someday it might be a human who needs help beyond what the calculations recommend." Hours passed slowly. The station occasionally shook from distant explosions. The battle outside continued. Alan and Natalie returned from their supply mission, their faces grave. "We got the supplies," Alan said, placing a container on a table. "But we also found something else." He stepped aside, revealing a third figure in a pressure suit behind him. This alien was unlike any Olivia had seen before. It was tall and black, with a body that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Parts of it appeared solid, while others shifted like smoke. "A Voidborn," Krastul hissed, reaching for his weapon. "It's injured," Natalie said quickly, stepping between them. "We found it trapped under debris. Following the 24-hour rule, we brought it back." The room fell silent. Everyone stared at the Voidborn, their supposed enemy. "It was alone," Alan explained. "Separated from the main attack force. It's been shot multiple times." Olivia approached the Voidborn carefully. The alien was swaying, clearly weak. "Can you understand me?" she asked. The Voidborn reached slowly to its belt and activated a small device. A mechanical voice translated. "Yes, I understand. You are humans." Drell moved forward, his medical training overcoming his fear. "It needs treatment or it will die." Some of the conscious aliens in the medical bay protested. "It's the enemy. They attacked us." "Let it die." Olivia raised her hand for silence. "The 24-hour rule applies to everyone. If they're breathing, we help them. No exceptions." She turned to Drell. "Treat it like any other patient." The reptilian medic hesitated, then nodded and led the Voidborn to an empty bed. As Drell worked, the Voidborn spoke through its translator again. "Why help enemy?" "Not logical." "It's what humans do," Olivia replied. "We don't give up on life. Any life. As long as there's a chance." The Voidborn was quiet for a moment. Then it said something unexpected. "Similar to Mercy Protocol." "What's that?" Olivia asked. "Our law, 20 hours to save injured. After that, mercy ending." Olivia frowned. "You mean you euthanize your wounded after 20 hours? "Yes, kindness. No suffering." This revelation hit Olivia hard. The Voidborn had a version of their own 24-hour rule, just with a different conclusion. Their attack suddenly seemed more complex than simple aggression. "Why did you attack the council station?" she asked. The Voidborn's body rippled, which might have been a sign of emotion. "Council rejected peace talk 3 times. Said Voidborn too different, too dangerous. We saw only one path left." Olivia exchanged looks with her crew. What if this whole conflict was based on a misunderstanding? What if the rigid council protocols had prevented proper communication? Before she could ask more questions, the station shook violently. Warning lights flashed red. "Hull breach detected in Section 14, announced the automated system. "Life support failure imminent." Ryan checked his panel. "Captain, we're losing pressure. The main oxygen system is failing faster than I expected." Olivia looked around at the wounded aliens. at her tired crew, and at the injured Voidborn. They had come this far. She wouldn't give up now. "We've got 4 hours until we hit the 24-hour mark," she said firmly. "Let's make them count." 20 hours had passed since the attack began. The air in the medical bay felt thin and stale. Captain Olivia Martinez checked on each injured alien, her movements slower now as fatigue set in. Several of the wounded had died despite their best efforts. The mood was growing darker by the hour. Lieutenant Ryan Foster looked up from the life support control panel, his face grim. "Captain, I've done everything I can, but the system is failing. We have maybe 3 hours of breathable air left." "That's not enough," Olivia said quietly. "We need to reach the 24-hour mark." Samantha Wells approached them, her communication device in hand. "I've been trying every frequency. I think I found something, but the main communication array is damaged. We can't send a clear signal." The Voidborn they had rescued sat on a medical bed watching them, the translator at its belt activated. "Your people strange, still trying when numbers say no chance." Olivia walked over to the alien. Its dark body seemed less solid than before, parts of it fading like smoke. "Do you have a name?" "Scout Telex," the alien replied. "I scout ahead for main force." "Well, Scout Telex, sometimes the numbers don't tell the whole story. Humans have survived impossible situations before." The Voidborn's body rippled. "My people coming soon, following Mercy Protocol." "You mentioned that before," Olivia said. "Your 20-hour rule." "Yes. When 20 hours pass, we find wounded and end suffering. Quick death better than slow." A chill ran through Olivia. "You mean your people will board this station to kill any survivors?" "Yes." "Mercy?" Natalie Garcia, who had been listening nearby, stepped forward. "It's not mercy if people still have a chance to live." Telex tilted what seemed to be its head. "Voidborn cannot live past 20 hours with severe injury. Body dissolves. Very painful. We thought all species same." "That explains a lot," Natalie said to Olivia. "Their biology is different. What's mercy for them is murder for us." Olivia's mind raced. "How soon will they come?" "Very soon," Telex replied. "Within 1 hour." Samantha spoke up. "Captain, if we could fix the main communication array, we might be able to contact both our ships and the Voidborn fleet." "Explain the misunderstanding." "Where is this array?" Olivia asked. "On the outer hull," Ryan said grimly. "Section 12, it would require an EVA. A spacewalk," Olivia translated for the non-humans. "Very dangerous with the station damaged and a battle going on." Commander Krastul, who had been quiet for hours, stood up. "The chance of survival for such a mission is less than 10%. "Those are better odds than doing nothing," Olivia replied. She made her decision. "I'll go." "Captain, no," Alan protested. "Send me instead. I need you here to protect the wounded if the Voidborn boarding party arrives. I'm the best qualified for EVA work." No one could argue with that. Olivia had trained extensively for spacewalks. "I'll help prepare the suit," Ryan said, standing up. 20 minutes later, Olivia stood at the airlock in a pressure suit. Her team gathered around her. "The array controls are on the port side, about 50 meters from this airlock," Natalie explained. "Once there, you'll need to manually reset the system and input new coordinates. The coordinates are set to broadcast on all frequencies," Samantha added, handing Olivia a small data chip. "This message explains the situation to both sides." Olivia nodded. "If I'm not back in 30 minutes, assume the worst and do whatever you can to protect these people." "We will, Captain," Ryan promised. The airlock cycled, and Olivia stepped out into the vacuum of space. The battle had moved farther away, but flashes of weapons fire still lit up the darkness. The damaged station stretched before her, parts of it torn open, exposing the interior to space. She secured her tether and began moving carefully along the hull, using handholds to pull herself forward. The silence of space surrounded her, broken only by her own breathing inside the suit. After 15 minutes of careful movement, she reached the communication array. It was partially damaged, but the main controls were intact. She began the reset sequence. Suddenly, a piece of debris from the battle struck the hull nearby. The impact sent vibrations through the structure. Before Olivia could secure herself, a larger piece hit close to her position. Pain shot through her leg as a metal shard tore into her suit. Warning lights flashed inside her helmet. Her suit was losing pressure. "No," she gasped. "Not now." She had to finish the job, fighting against the pain and the thinning air in her suit. Olivia worked the controls. Her vision began to blur, but she forced herself to focus. With shaking hands, she inserted the data chip and activated the broadcast. The array hummed to life. A green light indicated the message was transmitting. "It's done," she whispered, though no one could hear her. She tried to turn back toward the airlock, but her injured leg wouldn't move properly. The tear in her suit was getting worse. Her oxygen levels were dropping rapidly. Using her arms, Olivia pulled herself along the hull. Each movement sent waves of pain through her body. She was only halfway back to the airlock when her vision started to dim. "Keep going," she told herself. "Just keep breathing." Inside the station, Ryan monitored the situation. "Captain's vital signs are failing," he reported to the others. "But the message is broadcasting. On every frequency, to both human and void-born ships, Olivia's message played. This is Captain Olivia Martinez of Earth. We have discovered a critical misunderstanding between our species. The Voidborn's 20-hour mercy protocol exists because their biology cannot survive beyond that time when injured. Our human 24-hour rule exists because we can. We are not enemies. We are just different species with different needs. Please, cease fire and help us save the wounded on this station, both yours and ours." Outside, Olivia's strength was fading. The airlock seemed impossibly far away. She thought of her crew, of the injured aliens they were trying to save, and of the misunderstanding that had caused so much suffering. With one final effort, she reached for the next handhold. Her fingers brushed against it but couldn't grip. She began to drift away from the hull. A dark shape moved toward her. Through her fading vision, Olivia saw what looked like a void-born ship approaching. Then everything went black. Inside the medical bay, the crew watched as Olivia's vital signs flatlined. "Captain," Samantha whispered, tears in her eyes. Suddenly, a new signal appeared on their communication system. "This is Void-born Command Vessel," a translated voice announced. "We have received your message. We are sending rescue teams. We have retrieved your captain. She is still breathing." Olivia opened her eyes slowly. A bright light shone above her. Her body felt heavy and sore. She tried to move but couldn't. "She wakes," said a mechanical voice. Olivia blinked, trying to clear her vision. She was in a strange room. The walls were black and seemed to shift slightly, like smoke frozen in place. She was lying on some kind of medical bed. "Where am I?" she asked, her voice weak. A dark shape moved into her field of vision. A voidborn, larger than Scout Telex, stood over her. Its body was more defined, with clear arms and a head, but still seemed to absorb light. "You are on Voidborn command ship," the translator said. "I am Nexus Prime, commander of this fleet." Memory flooded back. The space station, the injured aliens, the EVA to fix the communication array. "My crew," Olivia said urgently. "The wounded on the station." "Safe," Nexus Prime assured her. "Your message was received. Fighting has stopped. Rescue ships from both sides now at station." Relief washed over Olivia. "How long was I unconscious?" 3 hours. You almost died. Your suit was badly damaged, but you were still breathing when we found you." Olivia smiled weakly. "If we're breathing, we're still in play." "Your human rule," the Voidborn commander said. "Different from our mercy protocol. We did not understand." "How is my leg?" Olivia asked, remembering her injury. "Repaired by our medical team. You will recover fully." Olivia tried to sit up again. This time, the Voidborn commander helped her. She could now see the room better. It was a medical bay, but very different from human designs. Everything seemed to be made of the same dark, shifting material as the Voidborn themselves. "I would like to see my crew," she said. "Soon. First, I must understand. Why risk your life for aliens you barely know? For enemies?" Olivia thought for a moment. "Because every life has value, and because I believed this was all a misunderstanding. I was right, wasn't I?" Nexus Prime's body rippled, which Olivia was starting to recognize as a sign of emotion. "Yes. 3 times we sent diplomatic missions to Council, 3 times rejected without meeting. They said Voidborn biology too strange, too dangerous, called us living weapons." "Because you absorb light and energy?" "Yes. We feed on energy. Council feared we would feed on them. But we only take what we need. We wished only to trade and share knowledge. And when they rejected you, we believed only option was to force meeting, to show strength. Mistake." A door in the wall slid open. Scout Telex entered, along with Ryan Foster and Natalie Garcia from Olivia's crew. "Captain." Ryan rushed to her side. "You're alive." "Takes more than a spacewalk to get rid of me," Olivia said with a smile. "How are the others? The wounded?" "Being treated on both human and Voidborn ships," Natalie explained. "The Council ships are keeping their distance. They don't trust this ceasefire." "We need to speak with them," Olivia said. "Explain what happened." "Already working on it," Ryan said. "Lieutenant Foster created interesting communication device," Nexus Prime added. "Allows direct translation between humans and Voidborn without Council systems filtering." Ryan looked embarrassed. "It's just a simple modification of our translators, but it's helping us understand each other better. The misunderstandings between your people and the Council were made worse by their translation protocols," Natalie explained. "They were literally changing the meaning of your messages." "Councillor Vendar has agreed to meet," Telex said. "He was one you saved from debris." "When?" Olivia asked. "Now," Nexus Prime answered. "If you are strong enough." Olivia swung her legs off the bed, testing her injured one. It hurt, but she could stand. "I'm ready." They helped her walk to a large chamber. The walls were lined with view screens showing space outside. The station was visible along with ships from all 3 groups, human, Voidborn, and Council. In the center of the room, a blue-skinned alien with 4 arms waited. Councillor Vendar. He looked much better than when Olivia had last seen him, trapped under debris. "Captain Martinez," he said when he saw her. "You survived." "Thanks to the Voidborn," Olivia replied. "It seems we've all misunderstood each other." "Perhaps," Vendar said cautiously. "But the Voidborn attacked a Council station. This cannot be overlooked." "Only after Council rejected peace 3 times, Nexus Prime countered. "Because your biology makes you dangerous," Vendar insisted. "You absorb energy. You could absorb life from other species." "Could but would not," Nexus Prime said. "Just as you could use your 4 arms to kill but choose not to." "Wait," Olivia interrupted. "This is exactly the problem. You're both assuming the worst about each other." "The Council values efficiency and protocol," she continued. "The Voidborn value decisive action and mercy as they understand it. Humans value persistence and hope. We're different, but none of us are wrong." She walked to the center of the room, standing between them. "The mercy protocol exists because Voidborn bodies dissolve after 20 hours of severe injury. Our 24-hour rule exists because humans can often survive beyond expected time frames. These aren't just rules. They reflect our biology and our values." Vendar's 4 hands moved in a complex pattern, a sign of deep thought in his species. "You suggest we have judged the Voidborn unfairly, based on our own biological perspective." "Yes," Olivia said simply. "Just as they judged your rejection of their diplomatic missions as hostile, rather than fearful." "And how do we move forward from here?" Vendar asked. "We talk, really talk, without filtered translations or rigid protocols. We learn about our differences instead of fearing them." Commander Kraustool entered the chamber, along with Samantha Wells and Alan Phillips. The last of the wounded have been evacuated from the station, Krastul reported. All survivors will recover, including those with less than 40% survival chance, Olivia asked with a small smile. Krastul actually returned the smile. Yes, your 24-hour rule has proven efficient in its own way. Perhaps, Vendar said slowly, the Council has become too rigid in its protocols, too focused on numbers and efficiency. And perhaps, Nexus Prime added, Voidborn have been too quick to assume hostility where there was only misunderstanding. That sounds like the beginning of a real conversation, Olivia said. One where we all recognize that different biology means different needs and perspectives. She looked out at the view screens, at the ships that had been firing at each other just hours ago, now working together to save lives. We're not so different in the end, she said. We all want to survive, to understand, to be understood. We just need to give each other the chance. Like your 24-hour rule, Telex observed. If still breathing, still hope. Exactly, Olivia nodded. As long as we're all still breathing, we're still in play. 1 month had passed since the space station crisis. Captain Olivia Martinez stood in the grand meeting hall of the Galactic Council once again. This time, the room was different. The circular arrangement of seats had been changed. Now, 3 equal sections formed a triangle, one for council species, one for humans, and one for Voidborn. Olivia's leg had healed well. She stood tall in her formal uniform as she prepared to address the gathered representatives. Her crew sat behind. Her, Ryan, Samantha, Alan, and Natalie all wearing their dress uniforms. Captain Martinez, said High Counselor Vendar, his blue skin gleaming under the lights. The Council has asked you to explain this human concept, this 24-hour rule, that changed so much in such a short time. Olivia stepped forward, looking at the diverse faces around her. Some she recognized from the medical bay during the crisis. The 24-hour rule isn't just a rule, she began. It's a philosophy born from human history. Throughout our development as a species, we've witnessed what seemed like impossible survivals. People trapped under collapsed buildings for days, sailors lost at sea for weeks, explorers surviving extreme conditions against all odds. She paused, making eye contact with aliens from each section. Time and again, humans have survived beyond what calculations and probabilities predicted. So we learned not to give up too soon. The specific time frame, 24 hours, is less important than the principle. If someone is still breathing, we keep trying to save them. Nexus Prime, representing the Voidborn, rose to speak. When injured seriously, Voidborn bodies begin to dissolve after 20 hours. Our Mercy protocol developed because for us, death is certain after this time. We assumed all life followed similar patterns. That's the key lesson here, Olivia continued. Different biology means different time frames for hope, but the core value, preserving life, is one we all share. Commander Krastul stood up from the council section. I witnessed the humans' efforts firsthand. They saved many who would have been abandoned under our old protocols, including myself. This revelation caused murmurs among the council members. Krastul had not shared this detail before. My injuries were calculated at 38% survival chance, he explained. Under council protocol, I should have been left behind, but Captain Martinez and her crew saved me anyway. It has made me question our reliance on cold calculations. Vendar raised all 4 of his hands. The Council has spent the past month reviewing our rescue protocols. We recognize now that our focus on efficiency may have cost lives unnecessarily. He turned to the Voidborn section. We also acknowledge our failure to truly understand your diplomatic outreach. Our translation protocols were designed to protect Council interests, but they prevented real communication. And our response to rejection was too extreme, Nexus Prime admitted. We should have found another way to make ourselves understood. Olivia smiled. Real progress was happening right before her eyes. This is exactly why the 24-hour rule matters. It gives us time to understand each other, to find solutions we might miss if we give up too quickly. Vendar stood and approached the center of the room. The Council proposes a new interstellar rescue protocol. We call it the breathing rule, in honor of the human saying. A large display activated above them, showing the proposed protocol. Rescue. Efforts will continue as long as any individual shows signs of life according to their species' unique biology. This protocol recognizes our differences, Vendar explained. What counts as still breathing varies between species, but the commitment to saving lives does not. The representatives from all three sections voiced their approval. Olivia felt a surge of pride. Her crew's stubborn refusal to give up had led to something truly important. After the formal vote, Olivia and her crew prepared to leave the council station. They were heading home to Earth, bringing news of the new alliance. In the docking bay, Scout Telex approached them. The Voidborn looked different now. Its dark body seemed more solid, more defined. "I am coming with you," Telex announced. "To Earth?" Olivia asked, surprised. "Yes, first Voidborn diplomatic attaché to Earth. Will help prevent misunderstandings." Ryan stepped forward with a small device. "We made this for you, Telex, and for all of us." It was a new emergency response insignia. The design showed a medical symbol surrounded by multiple timers set to different intervals, 20 hours, 24 hours, and several others. Different times for different species, Ryan explained, but the same commitment to life. "Perfect symbol," Telex said, its body rippling with what Olivia now recognized as pleasure. As they boarded their ship, Olivia paused to look back at the council station. Just 1 month ago, it had been a battlefield. Now it was the birthplace of a new understanding between very different forms of life. Natalie came to stand beside her. "You know, when you were out there fixing the communication array, your vital signs failed for almost a minute. By all medical standards, you should have died." "But I was still breathing," Olivia said with a smile. "Actually, you weren't. Your suit was completely depressurized." Olivia looked at her in surprise. "Then how did I survive?" "The Voidborn, when they found you, they shared their own energy with you. Apparently, they can not only absorb energy but give it as well. No one knew they could do that. Not even them. They had never tried." Olivia was stunned. "They saved me by giving up their own energy?" "Yes." Nexus Prime said it seemed like the right thing to do. If you were still in play, they should keep trying. Olivia laughed softly. "They understood the rule better than I thought." Commander Kraztul approached them. He would be traveling to Earth as well, as the Council's new ambassador. "Ready to depart, Captain?" he asked. "Yes," Olivia replied. "Let's go home." As the ship pulled away from the station, Olivia stood at the viewport with her friends from 3 different species. She thought about how close they had all come to destroying each other because of misunderstandings and rigid thinking. "You know," she said, "the 24-hour rule isn't just about rescue missions. It's about not giving up on each other too quickly, about giving peace a chance to breathe." "Wise words," Krestul said. "Good rule," Telex agreed. The stars stretched into lines as the ship jumped to faster-than-light speed, carrying representatives of 3 species toward a future none of them could have imagined just 1 month ago. A future born from a simple human principle. As long as there's breath, there's hope.